One of India's most valuable company is BYJUs. The education startup, pretty much for good or for bad, has dominated the news cycle with the amount of funds they've raised, with the amount of students who end up using their services. In this video, I want to break down how BYJUs acquire their customers. Let's get started. I want to make one thing clear here, that I have no association with BYJUs. This is me trying to make sense of their sales process from publicly available information and see what I can learn so that I can try to integrate some of these concepts in my own startup. So starting off, what does BYJUs really sell? So the product which BYJUs really sells is their courses, their CBSE course, from 4th to 10th. And then they have an IAS course, they have an IIT JEE course, basically focused on a lot of education before someone starts an undergraduate degree. What BYJUs really sells is training programs to help you clear these exams, to help you clear or get a better grade in your CBSE, state or ICSE or whatever it is. Next, they sell a lot of books. Books can be question banks, books can be chapters, they can be actual learning material. These are basically textbooks. And finally, they have a hardware component to their business where they sell these tablets which are pre-installed with the BYJUs app with a lot of content already downloaded. So roughly speaking, this is what BYJUs sells. Now, as I get more and more into the video, what you have to understand is what a funnel is. A funnel is a visualization of how a sales process is supposed to work. And by the end of this video, this particular funnel will be filled. So keep watching. Keep this in mind that this funnel represents different stages. This is stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, right? Different stages of what a customer goes through. A customer starts over here as an inquiry, and towards the end, he is either a paying customer or he's lost. Now, the reason we like to represent a sales cycle as a funnel is because at every stage you have a drop off. So over here, if there's 100 people, by the end of the process, you will be left with 10 people who would actually end up being your paying customers. These are numbers just for your understanding. Now, the first thing which we need to focus on is how BYJUs acquires leads. So what is a lead? A lead is basically an inquiry. An inquiry from a customer or a person who has potential to be your customer. Okay. So BYJUs runs ads everywhere. You go on Twitter, they have ads. On LinkedIn, they have ads. On YouTube, they have ads. There's no Google Plus anymore. On Facebook, they have ads. On phone, they have ads. If you have called any toll-free number, sometimes you'll get ads even over there. On newspaper, they have ads. On radio, they have ads. On the Play Store, they have ads. The whole idea behind all of these ads is to generate inquiries, to generate a parent's phone number, email ID, and some more information. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. Now, to give you some perspective, if you open Facebook ad library, a Facebook ad library is a tool where you can check a lot of your competitors' ads. On any given day, BYJUs has 350 campaigns running. This was a screenshot I took today. You take it tomorrow, it may be more. So BYJUs continuously runs a lot of paid ads. And I'm sure you've seen it everywhere. The reason they spend so much on ads, if I go back to this funnel, is to have sufficient inquiries, to have sufficient prospects. Prospects is what will get your business flowing, right? So think of this funnel where in the beginning of the funnel, you need to fill it with prospects, and the end of the funnel, you end up getting sales. Apart from this, BYJUs also has a lot of organic content. So what do you mean by organic content? These are free videos. So if you open BYJUs on YouTube and you search it, you can get their IAS channel. They always have a live stream going on, talking about prelims, talking about exams, talking about question papers, talking about all these different things. So with a combination of free content which they give away and paid content which they promote across all these channels, online, offline, doesn't matter where, they end up getting the entry of the funnel. They end up filling a lot of inquiries. And I am relatively confident that BYJUS probably has one of the biggest budgets for any company in India in terms of promotions. You see them everywhere, right? That's not cheap, that comes at a cost. Next, after they get these inquiries, if again, I'm not associated with BYJUS, this is my thought process. Logically, if I had to target customers, if I had to target people, I would try to take those inquiries, run them through some person who can call and check if it is a parent who has a kid who's around 10 to 20 years old, which is basically between class 4 and class 12, which is my target audience. A parent who is aspirational, who wants his or her kid to do really, really well. Which parent doesn't? Is probably envious of some successful kids and successful kids' parents, and probably comes from a tier 2, tier 3, or rural area. And this is not because anything wrong over there. I just feel that typically speaking, in urban areas, you have a higher access to quality education. And I'm not talking about schools, even private tutorials and things like that, you end up getting a lot more. And this call, so say I fill in 100 people and I get my sales team to call these 100 people, I will filter them out, and people who probably match this criteria, so say there'll be about 50 of them, I would send to my next process. Now in BYJU's case, that next process is the sales process. So what BYJU's does is it calls its salespeople education consultants or education advisor, but essentially they are salespeople. The difference is, of course, that they will be able to give you a more customized solution for your kid, for whoever it is. So if it's a CBSE kid who's interested in biology, maybe give him a NEET course. And they're able to figure out what exactly your kid needs, and that's why they call them education advisors. And these education advisors essentially first probably have a telephonic conversation. If these guys live in areas which is accessible, they end up going and meeting the parents. And in those meetings, they take the parents through a particular process where they end up asking kids interesting science questions, which probably the parents also may not know the answer about, and create a scarcity, create a requirement. Of course, already this is an inquiry, there is a requirement, but create an even more deeper need, a deeper sense of urgency. And once they do that, next they will probably give them a free trial for a month or for a few weeks, and probably give them a demo of the device. Again, depends from region to region, depends from area to area, depends from person to person, but this is typically what I think they end up doing. And after that, they send them the proposals. Either the proposal is already sent before the meeting, or during, or even after the meeting. The proposal may contain a 6-year lock-in, so that if a child is in class 4, for example, till class 10, he will have access to BYJU's products, which are courses, right? Which are different courses. They would probably send them proposals for the hardware. They may even send them proposals for the question bank, for the books. And then there is an intense process of follow-up. So I'm relatively confident that these guys are followed up multiple times. If I'm not wrong, the typical follow-up number of follow-ups, which at least I've seen a lot of corporates do, is 7 to 8 times before a deal is marked lost, or until or unless the customer explicitly tells that stop calling me, I'm not interested. So 7 to 8 follow-ups is what BYJUS ends up doing, or is what I guess they would end up doing. After this, either the deal is won or the deal is lost. So when the deal is won, the parent has now signed up for BYJUS services for his or her kids, and then kids have access to a library of content which was produced by BYJUS team, heavily produced, has been used a lot over the last many years. I'm sure BYJUS must be constantly updating their content to keep that product up to date. If the deal is lost, don't think the deal ends there. So because BYJUS has already spent a good amount of time marketing to this particular person or marketing to this particular client, the next thing what I believe they end up doing a lot of remarketing. Of course, they do a lot of remarketing even before, but even after the deal is lost, they do a lot of remarketing, and this remarketing is essentially to the specific audience which I give, on Facebook or on YouTube, I can run lookalike ads or remarketing ads, custom audience ads. That's what we call it. And custom audience ads, basically, I have to upload email ID, phone number, etc. to these platforms. And after I upload, I can tell Facebook and YouTube to show ads to these people. And in BYJU's case, it will show ads to parents. And I'm relatively confident that they would focus on ads which are, scarcity mindset, which are trying to get the sense of urgency that, hey, you need to educate your kid with high quality education or his career is over. So this sales funnel, what you can see here, is what BYJU's does to acquire customers. And there will be lots of different softwares which are used at each level. They will use a CRM software from start to finish to track the entire process. For remarketing, I'm sure they'll be using certain ad automation platforms. They'll be using Google Ads, YouTube Ads, Facebook Analytics, Google Pixel, all those various tools to be able to accomplish this again and again, again and again. And now if you're wondering that when they raise funds, where does it go? Because the funnel is built, at each level, BYJU's will have an idea of their conversion rates. So BYJU's will know that if they have 100 leads, they can send 50 people to go meet. They can send 25 proposals depending on the demand, and they can close, say, 10 clients as one, and then other 15 as lost, who will go into remarketing and start all over again. And because they know that, hey, 10% of leads results in direct business, now they can go to investors and they can say that, hey, we have a sales funnel. If we get, BYJU's, I'm sure, is working at ranges of a million or 5 million or even 10 million for that matter. If I get 10 million leads, I can get 1 million paying customers. And then each customer is worth various different amounts. Per year, it's worth, say, 10,000 rupees to me. So that is how they get the huge valuation. It's a really interesting process. I urge you to try to get clarity for a process like this for your own startup. Because trust me, if you're able to establish this for your startup, it's like basically having a superpower. So if you're able to establish this for your business, it's like having a superpower. So hope you like this video. Do subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thank you, guys.